Good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful Sunday with beautiful gray shaded clouds floating overhead. And I'm here today to discuss meditation, and I will be bringing Buddha through, who's been present with me for most of the last hour and a half. One of the things with Buddha is he is much slower and more deliberate of speech than I normally am. And any of you that have heard me speak as William know that I talk fast and I talk a lot. Buddha's almost the opposite. He's very slow and he's very deliberate, exceptionally meticulous about what he's going to say and why he's going to say it. And the subject that he's coming to discuss is meditation. And before I allow Buddha to speak, I would like to talk a bit about meditation myself. My own personal experience with meditation has been that it's never been about trying to go somewhere else. It's about trying to be where I am right now. And it's really important to understand that this whole week is about learning to be where you are, not where you're not. And Buddha's going to get into great detail about this. He says he's going to speak to everyone for about 20 minutes. He will take questions afterwards. And he says, be patient if the speech is slow, for it's important that I communicate to you in such a fashion that your mind does not analyze the words that I say, but your soul and your heart feel the meaning. He says that it's very important for you to feel the meaning of words rather than to understand the analytical aspects to the meaning of the words, what you have been taught. So I'm going to step a little further out of the way and let Buddha come a little bit more. He's saying, all of you are here to understand that you already are who you know yourself to be. And the only way to know this truly is to feel the presence of your own being in this moment. He says you cannot find yourself outside of yourself. You must find yourself where you are. And so it's important to understand that this week in your meditations there are 3 elements that I would wish you to consider. The first element is to be prepared so you will not be disturbed. To remove all distractions that you can from around you. To make certain that you drink a little bit of water prior to meditation. He says it's not good to eat before you meditate. It is good to drink a little before you meditate, but do not eat. He says you do not want your digestive system to take your attention from yourself. You do not want your attention focused on the body too much. He says you have to learn to still your body, for it is your servant. He says there's a number of you that are very restless when you sit still. And it's important to understand that this is not a problem with your functionality. This is an issue of discipline over your body and what it remembers. Being mindful is actually, he says, about being mindless. So when you get your body still, you wish to become mindless. And this happens through your breath. Whenever your body gets restless, whenever you wish to look there or scratch and itch or think about something else, Use your breath to bring your awareness into the moment. There is great value in teaching your body to be still. He says, your body is not you, it is an animal that was gracious enough to allow you to inhabit it. And you are to take care of this animal as if it were your very own child, with the love and the dignity and the honor that you would give to a child that is yours. But in that, it will surrender itself and has surrendered itself to you. But because of many of your habits, the things that you eat and the things that you drink and the things that you do that are not natural to it, have created a state of fear within your body. The fear that you might poison it, the fear that you might ignore it, the fear that you might neglect it. And all of your bodies have experienced this. And so in your meditation this week, you must be still with the body. Let it know that you will not harm it, that you wish to give it peace, that you wish to give it rest, that you wish to give it love, that no harm will come to it during your meditation. And I say this because your body is conditioned to be on alert. It is naturally aware of the environment, unlike many of you who are aware of most of your thoughts. It is very important to get the body still into a place of trust. Use your breathing. Use your breathing to relax your body, to bring it into the moment, to make it still. Everything must be relaxed and kept this way. Your body will naturally wish to rebel in the first, yet you must insist it to relax. Breathe it to relax. Make it go deeper with your breath. For your breath is the assertion over your will on this body, where you say, I am the rider and you are my horse, so that it learns to follow your instructions. He says the difference here is in the role you will now assume is that of leader over this form. And if your role is a loving role, where you cease to poison your body, where you cease to harm it, where you learn to take care of it, to clothe it and feed it properly, you will earn its trust to be still. For those of you who have said, I cannot meditate, I cannot be still, it is not you that cannot meditate. It is your body wondering what you're going to do to it, especially when you're doing something new. It's very important to earn your body's trust. Keep it still. And this is why we say, please be in a space where you will not be disturbed, so your body feels safe, so your body feels calm. There will come a time as you grow in experience with learning to meditate that your body will not need to feel safe, for it will always trust you. Which means you could meditate chopping wood or carrying water. You can meditate driving your car or being at work. For meditation is not about the body being in a place of silence. It's about you being in a place of stillness. And in this stillness, you will know that which you need to do at all times. When your body is still and it begins to trust you and allows you to direct it to relax deeper, there will be a second stage that will emerge. For as your body begins to get quiet and more relaxed, you will become more aware of the thoughts that run on in your mind. And these thoughts that run on in your mind are just thoughts of what was before. For in the stillness of the moment there is no thought. It is only in the remembering of what was that you can have thought, and have the illusion that the thought is in the moment. For the moment truly contains no thought. To put it a little more simply, when you have a thought in your mind and your body is at rest in your meditation, you merely have to release that thought, to let it go, and assure your mind that you will take care of it also, that you will give it the right thoughts, that you will feed it the right ideas. The fundamental difference between your body and your mind is that one is the language that you have given the body about what the world means. And so while thought may affect your body, in your choice to not allow thought, to release it, to say, I wonder what I will think of next, is to step outside of the constraints of your mental mechanism, your mind. There is a very elegant simplicity in who you are that does not need or want, but has all things. And it is that simple level of elegance of self that you're aspiring to come to through these meditations, where your body gladly surrenders itself to your commands fearlessly. And I stress the word fearlessly, because when your body feels loved, it will trust you in all circumstances, much the same as a horse will trust its rider to steer it in the directions through the trees in the forest. Your body will surrender to you thusly, and you can take it anywhere, and you will be fearless in it. There has been a statement that was made that to contemplate the sound of one hand clapping, for your mind to consider what is the sound of one hand clapping. Your mind cannot answer this question, but there is a feeling to the question, what is the sound of one hand clapping? And it is in that moment that you can find the stillness of your mind, for there is no answer in your mind to the sound one hand clapping, for it contradicts the illusion of noise that your mind gives you continually. And it can be a big chatterbox, but that question, what does one hand clapping sound like? That will release you from this. I wonder what you will think of next. Are you thinking now? Are you listening? Are you feeling? Are you hearing? Is your body still? Are you allowing it to be still? Are you giving it the love it deserves to be still? The safety, the security? For you can take this body into many circumstances, and if you are in a good relationship with it, that is to say, if you have not poisoned it, if you've not harmed it, if you've not damaged it in any way, then it will trust you to jump out of a plane or drive in a piece of metal miles an hour. It will trust you in all circumstances you choose to go into, for it knows you will care for it. You will always look after it. So learning to take care of your body is important in terms of being able to meditate effectively, for you're training your body to be your servant, a servant that will trust you because you will not harm it. As it is equally important for you to train your mind into silence, to to bring the silence in your mind, to be mindlessness, to be absent of thought. Can you feel the absence of thought? Will you die if you do not have thought in your mind? I think the answer is obvious. Use your breath. Always use your breath during your meditation. For your breath is an assertion of your will over body and mind. So learning to maintain that level of assertiveness is essential and critical to asserting authority over this temple in which you live. They have built many temples in my name, but there is only one temple, and you live in it right now. If you hear me with your ears and see me with your eyes, then the one that sees and the one that hears is the one that you are, and it does not see with these ears or hear with these eyes. So the mind has to have structure in order to follow what you do with it. It gets scared and confused when there is disorder to information. So you must learn to train your mind to be organized and orderly. Whenever you see confusion or feel confusion in here or in here, breathe. Breathe into the moment. Some of you even fear silence. What does it mean if there's no noise in your mind? But your mind keeps you restricted to a very small awareness of what reality is, of what your being is. And the goal of these meditations is to get you to the place of being aware of self, which is an unlimited connectedness that you are to all things. To truly be who you are is to be unlimited, to have no need, but to have awareness of what is required in the moment, and the capacity to act immediately in the moment based on what the moment needs. And this requires no thinking mind. It requires the presence of your being, here and now. This is always the case. Many people get tasks done while their thinking mind is going on and make mistakes or make errors. In the present, you make no mistake. In the present of being, there is no error, for your being is connected to all that is. And so many things are considered simultaneously without thought as to how one may act, say, or do in any moment. When these two things become your servants that are loved and respected and honored, for your mind must be also given good thought, good idea, right thinking, in order for it to feel safe under your direction as well. But so many people feed their minds with fear and violence and pain and sadness. They watch it on the televisions. They watch it in movie theaters. They see it on the streets. They talk about it. They share it with each other as if it's a reality. And they make themselves smaller by this, when the vastness of your being would have no desire to be limited to any finite moment or instant. Breathe with me. Breathe again with me. your breath tells your body you are taking care of it. When you deliberately breathe, you are giving it life and you're releasing it. You're receiving life, you're releasing it. And that is called non-attachment. Non-attachment gives one peace. And peace does not mean that you are inactive. It means you are quiet in the moment. And then the smile comes inside when you're at peace, a smile. It's just a smile that you are. You do not have to spend many lifetimes to self-actualize. You do not have to go out and spend great sums of money or go to great pains to come to a place of peace. You can simply start from breathing. This will take you to the beginning. The mind tries to anticipate. You must learn to stop your mind from anticipating what is next. But you can look for what your mind might think of next. And your mind cannot find what it will think of next, for your mind can only live from what it remembers. I wonder what you will think of next. This is all designed with the exclusive purpose of connecting you to the one source that is us all. The experience of what I'm saying is different than the words that I'm saying, but when you experience it, you will know it. So I will go over this again. Make certain you drink prior to your meditations. And use your breath to still your body. And your body may choose to rebel or be uncomfortable, and you must insist gently that it relax. Let it know you will take care of it, that you are doing it as service. You are teaching it to be at peace. And all the pain, all the tightness and tension that you've been holding on to protect yourself, as you release, your body will surrender, will begin to give you its trust again. The trust it had when you were a child, to go anywhere, to do anything, to risk everything, because it knew you would not hurt it. That's why children are fearless, because they do not have fear. Always the breath. Come to your breath when your mind seeks to take you somewhere, or your body tries to take you somewhere. Use your breath. He's saying he will take questions now. So he's very powerful being, very beautiful being. Yeah. So, if anybody's got any questions, he will be happy to take your questions. Child, he's speaking to you, Jessica. He says, spend less time trying to be in the future and more with being in the present, in the feelings of how you know your life can be. Practice being in the feelings of now. For in the feeling of now, there is no future, there is no past. Yeah, he says you spend way too much time in the future. Melinda. He's saying many of you are preoccupied with your needs, and you need to become more preoccupied with what you can do that will assist others. Specific messages, he says, I will give them. It is important that you recognize the feeling of the message. He's stressing, when I speak, feel the vibration of the words, for your mind cannot analyze vibration, but you can feel it.
Gina would like a message.
Gina, he is saying you need to spend more time closer to nature. He's saying get closer to the ground. He's saying put your hands on the ground, get close to the ground. He's saying be very close to the ground. Lydia. Lydia says, when I meditate, I have a tightening around my neck. Can you explain why this is? He's saying because you do not stretch it. He says, meditation is not about being just passive. For there are things in your body that your body needs. And in your case, when you feel that tightening in the neck, you need to move the neck, stretch it. That part of you is saying, move me, so that the energies can flow through the centers freely. He's saying you hold yourself down here. So when you meditate, move the neck when you feel the tension. He's saying stretch it gently. Don't get lost. He says do not get lost in the sensation of the movement, but feel what the neck does as you stretch it to loosen the energies. He said in a few short moments you'll feel it letting go. You will feel the energy rising up.
David Miriam would like a message.
Tracy's asking, any guidance to heal lower back pain so I can meditate longer? He's saying we all like to get away from our discomfort and not be responsible for them. He says everybody wants to escape their discomfort and not be responsible for it. If you have pain in your body, there's a part of you that needs love. There's a part of you that needs healing. There's a part of you that needs your attention. And what most people do when they find something in their body that they do not like, they get angry with it, they get frustrated with it, they get upset by it. And if you were to yell at your dog or your cat because you were upset with it, would it not react? So I would say this to you. When you notice that pain in your lower back, be present with it. Communicate your love, your compassion, your kindness to it. What does it need from you? Ask it. Do you need to move it? Because sometimes it needs to move. When you're working with these energy systems in this physical body, as a soul, you move energy through it dynamically, normally. So there are areas in your body that will have blockages. This may be one of those blockages. You need to move, identify what it needs. But do not try to get rid of the symptoms by force, for that is merely forcing. And you're trying to cultivate a relationship of trust with this instrument that you inhabit. You cannot cultivate a relationship of trust with force. You can only cultivate a relationship of trust with love and compassion and kindness and respect. Well, that's wonderful. So the question that you want to ask it is, what else does it need? What else does it need? So when you do this work on your body where you find a discomfort and you extend love to it and you're kind to it and you're compassionate to it, what else does it need? Let it go. Let the pain go. Let your belief in that pain go. It will differ slightly from person to person. But there may be some things going on in your life relative to personal issues that would keep that energy there. For all energy in the body comes from the mind or from the environment. All the altering energies. J.T. Johnson is asking, I get asked advice from work colleagues a lot of the time, but I'm never sure if I give the right advice. Can you tell if I do, or should I stop? If the information you choose to share with another is coming from a place of need, then you're most likely best not to share that. If the information you're sharing with another is coming from a place of love, of compassion, of a deep need to see that person's happiness fulfilled, then you're likely giving good sound advice. But if you're coming from your own fear or your uncertainty, am I or am I not giving the right advice, am I or am I not doing the right thing, then it is likely you're not communicating very good advice. For advice coming from love is vastly different than advice coming from fear. You're welcome. You're welcome, Tracy. Many misconceptions. He's saying there are many misconceptions about this thing called your body. It is not you. He stresses, your body is not you. It is a mechanism, a physical organism that has a life of its own that has given you permission to exist within it, to have a relationship with it. And that relationship is based on either love and connection, or it is based on fear. There's no in-between, he says. There's no in-between. You are either in any moment in a state of love or a state of fear. There are no, he says, the middle path is to be able to know that you're there, but you're neither. But you may choose to be one. And if you're going to choose to be one, choose to be love. Choose to be compassion. Yes. Yes. So I'm going to reiterate for him because his energy is very, very strong, very powerful. And thank you. I wasn't drinking enough. Make sure after your meditations too that you have water right after your meditations. Marie Wilson, I have high anxiety in my solar plexus. Seems connected to trying to help others because I'm not sure how to help. I think the answer for JT is helping me too, as are all of these answers. He's saying, as they will, as you apply them in your life. For the words you receive are only valuable when they get translated into your being. You want to be the ideas, not merely hear the ideas. And being the ideas means you carry them out in your actions. Liz, he says, Liz, it's a good idea for you to learn to whisper in your mind. He says, try whispering your thoughts for a day. He says, if you whisper your thoughts for a day, you will find a change that you're seeking. Sebastian, he says that you must learn to trust your heart a little more and not interpret it through your mind. What does he mean by that? He's saying you can feel more here, think less here. Yeah. Be more here and think less here about what you're being here. um, he says the only restrictions you will find in your meditation are the ones that you allow. He's speaking to all of you. The only restrictions you will find in your meditations are the ones you allow. So when you feel discomfort in the body, breathe and enforce it to relax. That is, to make it relax, let it relax. He's saying, you know how to open and close your hand, do you not? He's saying it's like that. When you feel a place in your body, let it go. He says you may breathe and release, breathe and release. There will be some of you that may fall asleep during some of these meditations. This is not a flaw, but your body is learning to trust you, for it would not fall asleep if it did not trust you. But the reverse is also true, that your body can remain awake and feel that same level of love and trust. The difference is one is conscious love, the other is unconscious love. You want your body to become conscious that you love it. You want to become fully conscious that you love it in the present moment. As you can hear, when you're fully conscious and present in the moment, your life is filled with joy. And ultimately, that is what the experience is about. Becoming who you are is a state of being joy, active love, active being. I think this is all. No, he's saying it's not all. He's saying somebody else has a question that they've been reluctant to ask. He's saying, you know who you are, you have a question you've been afraid to ask, please ask it. For your fear will stop you, because it's used to stopping you, it's been trained to stop you. And he says this will be the next question, will be the last question. What does it mean to be awake? When you still your mind and quiet your body, and they're in a state of surrender, and you are still conscious, you will be awake. You will see and you will hear more than your senses can let you see and hear. To be awake is to hear my voice. To be awake is to hear the great Creator. To be awake is to know you can communicate or connect with any other experiences you wish to. To talk to your guides or angels or ascended master beings, or to people that are not in body. To be awake is to know that all things are possible. To be awake is to live in love and compassion. This is all. I want to thank everybody for coming out today. Do I want to say anything? I think he said it all. There's really not much I can add to that. I'm just going to say about meditation, I encourage you to don't let your mind tell you it does not have the time. Make the time to meditate 20 minutes at least. I meditate a minimum of 40 minutes every morning, minimum. Sometimes I'll meditate as much as 3 hours, because I'm trying to get myself into a state of consciousness that's not restricted, so that I can allow Buddha, I can allow Jesus, I can allow these energies to come through, as everyone can and would naturally, were their mind and bodies not in the way. So make the time every day, morning or evening, to do that 20-minute meditation. This week, if you work on it diligently, use your breath as he said. Use your breath as he said to relax your body. And by the end of the 5 days, you will feel a difference in your vitality and your form. When you get thought in your mind, do as he says. Breathe and release. Breathe and release. It's about letting go. letting go of your control, letting go of your fear, so that these mechanisms that you inhabit surrender themselves to you, entrust their lives to you the way they originally did. So have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful day. I will see everyone tomorrow morning. I think at 10 o'clock I'm live again to see how the first meditation went for some of you and to address some of your questions around the meditation. And again, thanks for joining the course. Love having you all here. The energy of this group is absolutely through the roof and I love it. Wonderful day. Namaste. Thank you, Buddha.